Welcome everyone for my last time this year for me to the weekly Rotary Club meeting, District 6150 Club of the Year for 5 times. It's Gary's job to make it 6. Good news. Chadwick has the mic in the bucket.
All right, we got some good news. I'll be first. Hey, great crowd. Awesome. Thank you guys for coming out and celebrating Gary, whichever Gary you want to choose.
Well, since my knee replacement that I had 6 weeks ago today, of the knee replacement that I had 20 years ago, I have one physical therapy appointment left on Wednesday, and I am done.
Good job. All right, here we go.
I want to invite you all back to this facility from 4 to 6 today. Craig and his staff are hosting the Chamber's first live in-person event in the last 18 months. And so we're very excited. So come back this afternoon and join us. We're having great food too.
Here's my dollar. I was thinking about today, and today is, I am so proud to be an American. If you remember Lee Greenwood's song, that God Bless the USA, it's let me just say, I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, because there ain't no doubt I still love this land. God bless this USA. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave the right to me. I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. God bless the USA.
All right, that's for the great crowd today. I'm glad to see everybody here. Hopefully this will continue going forward. We'll have a great crowd like this every week. And I'm glad that I'm looking forward to Tuesdays not getting here as quickly every week. All right. Thank you, Chad. All right. I have, let me get this to advance back here. Before we get into I guess the media program, I have some recognitions that I need to give out. And first of all, we've got for perfect attendance. I think we had, I should have counted these to make sure. We had 5 people. Well, 4, I don't count myself, but I had perfect attendance. But Brian Riga. Well, and here's Al's. All right, and then we got one for Brenda Fasulo. And then Gary Clark. And we'll just put this other one away over here. And then let's see. I have one more. I need to award a Rotarian of the Year. And I know this person helped me a lot. There's a lot that went on behind the scenes that kind of make this thing go, and us to have some meetings and have hybrid meetings and programs online with Dr. Dillahay, and to kind of get all that together. And so the Rotarian of the Year award goes to Sam Hummelstein. I didn't want to get it out and you see it. Okay. Ahead of time. Yeah. I had that once before. Thank you, sir. Thanks. All right. Thank you. Got it? All right. Thank you, sir. You're welcome. Very welcome. I appreciate it. I appreciate all you've done, Sam. Like I said, big help to me. DAC-DB, and many other things. So served the club well, trying to get all this together too. So, all right. I guess that's all I had as far as recognition. Like I said, just want to thank everyone for this year, everything that everybody's done. Had a great year as a club. Like I said, a lot of work by a lot of other folks. I didn't do anything. I just had a lot of good people doing a lot of things for the club. So for us to get Club of the Year in a COVID year and do the number of projects that we did speaks a lot for this club. So anyway, I'm not going to say a whole lot because I know Gary's got about a 30-minute speech he's planned. So anyway, I'll get past District Governor Ray Keller up here, and we'll go ahead and start inducting officers and let Gary take over.
Well, first of all, in typical Rotary president fashion, Gary didn't take much credit for this year, but I think we all want to give him a big hand for the great job he has done this year in leading our club. It has not been an easy year. A lot of decisions had to be made, and a lot of things had to be changed, and it took a great deal of flexibility. And I just think I'm really proud of you, Gary. I knew you'd do a great job. I've known you since you were a little kid, and I had no doubt that you, but I also know how happy you feel at this very moment. You know, the years roll by, and it was 28 years ago when I stood where Gary Clark is standing and had butterflies in my stomach, thinking, oh, no, what have I done? So if you feel that way, Gary, that's okay. I promise you, everybody has felt that way. This is an amazing club, 102 years. If you ever want to take a little trip down memory lane with the access you have on a computer, just take a look at Jonesboro in 1919 and imagine what a day in the life was without all the things that we take for granted now. And yet Rotary started, and Rotary met on a weekly basis. Might have been pretty interesting to see what people rode up in as opposed to driving up in. And meeting, I guess, maybe at the Hotel Noble. I'm not sure if that was the first meeting place or not, but it was my earliest memory when I would attend with my uncle back in the 50s. And imagine that. And we think about the changes that have come about because of that insidious illness that crept around the world. But the world is full of historic occasions. And I want you to think about everything that's happened in the world since 1919. Supposedly, the war to end all wars was during that period of time. And yet Rotary began. It wasn't but 10 years later, the great stock market crash in 1929. And if you don't think that affected the people around here, most of that generation is gone. But my parents will tell you how it felt to see all the banks close. I think in this area, every bank closed but the Bank of Nettleton. And certainly jobs were lost. And yet Rotary kept meeting every Tuesday. Wasn't long after that, then it was Pearl Harbor. And many of our young men in that time left. Some returned and some did not. And yet Rotary met every Tuesday. And we have continued to meet every Tuesday. And historically, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now or longer, when somebody is up here, and I hope it won't be me, talking about historic occasions, they'll talk about Gary's year and Brian's year and years that have happened, because everything happens during these periods of time, yet Rotary continues on. 1.2 million of us, 188 countries. And today, over 35,000 induction ceremonies are taking place in these next few days. Isn't that amazing? from the top to the bottom, from the president of Rotary International to all the way down to all the clubs, some with only a handful of members. Every year, the leadership changes, and seamlessly, Rotary continues on and meets every week and does their good deeds. So it's been over 40 years for me. And I remember when I started in this club, when I'd hear people say that, I would think, was electricity even invented when you started? And so it may be how you feel about me and some of the others you'll see up here in just a few minutes. But we are very, very proud of this day. And proud that at this time, I would like to ask all the incoming officers and board members, if you would, to come forward and come right up here and stand beside me, if you will. Just come on up.
All right, so I know y'all all know everyone, but we've got, of course, Will Branch he'll serve as president-elect this coming year. He and Erica, I don't know if y'all remember, Erica was in that role, kind of switched because of some challenges with some jobs and make it easier. So Will is going to step into president-elect position, and it looks like membership chair for Gary. And then, of course, Erica's not here, but she'll be president nominee. You have Jennifer Hanna is going to continue as secretary her second year. Nancy will continue her second year as treasurer. And then Marie will continue as the bulletin, putting the bulletin together, which she does a great job. There's a lot that she does that a lot of people don't realize how much she does. But Jill Clogston, programs chair. Dana Kennedy will continue as community service, which Dana did a great job this last year. Like I said, we did 6 or 7 community service projects, and they were all great. Norm Stafford, I think, is he up there? Oh, there he is. I didn't see behind Audrey. Norm will continue as international service chair, which he did a great job. And then John Carmack be new director, new board of director member. Carl Cates will continue as Rotary Foundation. Carl was on the board. I think this is the second year to roll. No, you'll continue. That's right. You got 4 years. You got another year. That's why I lose track. You've been up there for Lori be finishing her second year as a board member. Audrey will come on as a new member, board member, and Chad Chadwick will be a new board member. And then Ruth Hawkins this will be her second year, I believe, as a board member. And then Ernesto Saucedo will be one of the new board members this year. And then Hatton will finish up his second year, which Hatton is, I think, on vacation. So anyway, that's your board members and chairs for next year.
Thank you for agreeing to take on this position. It's very important. These are the decision makers for our club, and they're in a very important position. So you've been elected to a very important position in the Rotary Club of Jonesboro administration-wise. This is an indication of the club's esteem and confidence that we have in all of you. We believe that you will uphold the highest traditions of our club, that you will give the best of your ability to the interest of our club and carrying forward the object of Rotary. So I ask you, will you fulfill the responsibilities of your offices to the best of your ability and in accordance with the constitutional documents of this club? You can say, I will. Thank you very much. Let's give them a big hand. You may sit. It's a goal for every member to be in that position. And hopefully you will be asked, and if you're asked, please don't take a step back, take a step forward. The more involved you get with the club, the more you become to appreciate how and why this club has existed for so long, and how in District 6150, which is one of the strongest districts in the United States, by the way, incredible track record. You looked on the board just a few minutes ago and see that we're on a streak. Club of the year every single year. It's hard to be club of the year. It's hard to do it 2 years in a row. I don't know that anyone's ever done 3. So we're in an historic times right now, not to put any pressure on you, Gary, but you know, we have this expectation, but it isn't it has nothing to do with what we did last year. It has to do with what we will do this coming year. And that's all about goals. That's all about commitment from the members. But it certainly starts and finishes with leadership. So the role of president is obviously the top position in our club, and every single year for 102 years, there's been someone selected to be president. If you go to our website, I'm so glad they do that. They list every president from 1919 up to the present moment. And the guy that I'm getting ready to bring up in just a minute has a long and rich history with Rotary, because way back before he became a Rotarian, his daddy was, and he'll talk about that in a few minutes. His daddy was one of my heroes. And when I first came into the club, had a big impact on me because he was one of the older guys in his 40s, you know. And those old guys in their 40s took care of guys like me in their 20s and made us feel like we belonged, because these guys were the movers and shakers of Jonesboro. There were headlines in Jonesboro. Those were the people that were making the headlines, and they were all Rotarians. I'd like right now to ask all of the former presidents of our club if you would come and stand behind me, if you will, and somebody needs to open the door and get Gene out if he's not come in yet. There you are, Gene. Come on up, buddy. I didn't know you were all the past presidents to come up here behind me, if you will. In no certain order, because we don't normally do this. This is a special day. It's important for you to see these folks, because these are the folks who can remember exactly when their induction day was, can remember where you were and probably who did it, who was before you and who were after you. I'd like for each of them just to come quickly up and introduce themselves. And if you happen to remember your year, you can say what year you were president.
Me first. I'm usually last. But I was president in 2005, 6.
I know this was my year, so.
So I'm Russ Hanna, and my year was 12-13.
John Deacon, my year was, I think, 2015-16.
Beverly Parker, I think it was 16-17.
You followed me.
Kenna Harrelson, 13-14.
Brian Riga, the centennial year of 1920.
Marilyn Hummelstein, old time. I was 0-1.
Lisa Golden, and I was 18-19.
Sam Hummelstein, 2005, 2006? No, 2006, 2007. You were governor, 5, 6.
And your year is not old. I was 93, 94. So, you know, Marilyn was still in junior high school, I think, when I was the president here. But let's give this group back here a big hand, if you will. They're your former past presidents. And now I'd like for Gary Clark, if he will come forward, please, to be the 102nd president of our Rotary Club. Gary is certainly well known to this group. He's been a member of our club for how many years? Yeah, lots and lots of years. And he's going to do a fantastic job. And so, and to honor your wishes, we will keep this short and sweet. Gary, will you solemnly pledge that you will faithfully execute the office of president of the Rotary Club of Jonesboro, and that you will, to the best of your ability, support the district governor and Rotary International, and that you will uphold the Constitution and bylaws of this club? I'm speaking for all of these folks. Congratulations. Welcome our new president, Gary Clark.
gavel.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much. Hold on just a second.
I was going to go back to the back of that.
Okay, well, I've got something for you. I've got something for you. Gary, on behalf of the club, I want to thank you for a wonderful year that we've had. It's been tough, as we've all talked about. It's amazing what you have done as far as taking us to our fifth Club of the Year award. Unheard of in modern times, I guess. So we'd like for you to have this on behalf of the club. Brian, I asked Brian to wrap it, and so he did. Okay, thank you very much. Well, you ought to open it up and show us. You ought to open it up and show it to him real quick.
I can't get it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Gary. I appreciate everything you did. I would like to thank the officers, directors, and committee chairs who've agreed to serve the club this year. I look forward to working with each of you. On a personal note, as you just heard, my dad began serving this club as president about this time in 1969, 52 years ago. He was a good man and a great dad. A short time before he passed away in 2014, he gave me his gavel, knowing I'd been a Rotarian for a number of years. This year, I will be using his gavel in memory of him. Thank you for this privilege and honor to serve as your club president. Working together, I know we'll have another successful year. Thank you very much. Do we have any other business that? Okay, Brian.
When you become president of this club, unless you're Ray Keller, of course, you quickly realize that you know nothing. There's that deer in the headlights, oh crap moment. Because there's so much that happens in this club administratively that members have no idea of. Lucky for anyone assuming the role of president over the past 30 years or so, we've had Barbara Widner to teach us what we don't know. As the club's executive secretary, Barbara has been the one constant, our base of institutional knowledge, a huge contributor to our being the 5-time reigning Club of the Year. And Gary, I'm not saying that you're screwed because Barbara left a legacy of people who will help you, and you saw us all stand up here today. On behalf of everyone who gets to wear the past president pin and expressing the thanks of a grateful organization, the Rotary Club of Jonesboro, we want to recognize Barbara Widner on her retirement as our club executive secretary. Barbara has been a great recruiter for the club. She's a major donor to the Rotary Foundation and a lifeline to many of us. Barbara is retiring from one job in Rotary, but she isn't leaving Rotary. And Barbara, I hope that you'll be able to come back to meetings and not have to work. If you would please come to the front here. We have a little token of our esteem for you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would help me recognize Barbara Widner. Barbara, Gary might like to talk if you want to talk, if you want to say anything.
I don't know how many years ago that was, but I know I've been here some 30 odd years. Thank you very much. Thank all of you.
Thank you, Barbara. You've been invaluable to all of us. Do we have any other business that we need to take care of today? Okay, well, this meeting is adjourned. Have a good weekend.